Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, right? The days start to...
Friday Junior.
Friday Junior, as we like to call it.
We
My
love a
hair
Friday
looks
Junior.
crazy. This is what happens when you can't see your shot before the show. So I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. In case you didn't know that, we have a really cool show to end the week for y'all today. I got the regular gang with me. Obviously, I got Corey in the cut, a.k.a. Corey Whatnot. That's his other
Corey
name.
Whatnot.
Corey Whatnot. Serious Mander legend. I think that's the name we've settled on. And I'm excited because we got my big bro in the house, Stak.
Yes,
I'm not going to
sir.
call him Steven Jackson because that's what a Fed does, and I am not a Fed.
Exactly. Don't do that.
Exactly.
Long time no see, Stak. You've been
Yes,
busy
sir.
traveling the world. I saw you were in Europe, weren't you, recently?
Yeah, we went to Croatia and
Ooh.
Lucene.
That's tough.
We went out there to headline a sports festival, and it was a great time. We had a good time. And we actually shot a live show out there.
Does All the Smoke have a lot of fans in Croatia? What's that fan base like?
Right. What's that experience like?
Yeah, I mean, it more than I thought. I mean, the support was unbelievable to know that so many people watch our show and support it around the world. And I stopped in Amsterdam on the way back, as you know.
I'm sure.
The things
It
I
was
like,
only right.
the things I
It
like
was
to
only
do.
right,
And
you know.
I was walking to one of my little spots, and a guy ran across the street sweating, talking about, man, I just want to tell you I love the show. So, you know, I'm just obsessed and
Audience is
honored
straightforward.
with the way our fans are showing us love.
How cool is that? Like,
That's
you
super
do
dope.
a show, you do a sports show, and you think it's only relevant to, like, the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go overseas, and you're in Europe, and there's a lot of culture, and in Europe, there's
Yeah.
so many other things for them to do than to watch podcasts, but you have fans out there. That's got to be dope.
Yeah, that is
It's,
super dope.
it's a great feeling. Tell me it's a great feeling.
That's awesome. That was
Flurries.
that was like how I felt whenever I get recognized at like the gas station or something.
We out in Croatia, different.
Yeah, I know.
continent being
Croatia
recognized.
gas
That's tough.
station. One day.
Yeah, you
One
said
day.
one day.
We have a lot to get into. The new CBA came out,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some things in there that are interesting, to say the least, and that's me being nice. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of trade rumors. There's some football news going on, and also we got news of the day, or little tidbits of information that we like to kind of gather and
Yeah.
discuss quickly before we get into the meat of the show. So, Corey, what's first on news of the day?
And also, people, stay tuned because we got our NBA contributor Stak on, but he's also our boxing guy. We're going to talk Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. We're also going to talk Charlo and Canelo too. So, hey, Stak, we glad to have you on because I can't wait to have that conversation. But yeah, we got this news of the day thing that we're going to start off with, and what we're going to start off with is Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. He's a guy, he says he values winning over money. This was a statement from him. He said, my managers and agents love to tell me how underpaid I am. Anytime I talk about wanting more money, they're just like, why don't you go to the Chiefs and ask them? When I saw Tyreek Hill go and get $30 million a year, in the back of my head, I was like, man, that's 2 to 3 times what I'm making right now. The free market looks fun until you go somewhere and you don't win. I love winning. I love the situation I'm in. Now, Stak, as a former player, right? This is really the question I wanted to ask. Looking back on your career, would you have
Taken.
appreciate you. Would you have taken 30 extra million or 3 extra rings?
For me, I think it's a process, right? If you're lucky to win 1 or 2 championships at the beginning of your career, like your first 3 or 4 years, where you're just in the right situation on a great team, I think after that, it's imperative that you go get your money because you don't know how long you're going to play. But if you're in a situation where you come in the league as one of those top names, one of those big names, and you making decent money from the rip, and your money is really nice, and you haven't been winning, but you are one of the best players, then I think it's cool that you stay where you at if you make it comfortable money until you get a championship. And if you're in a place like Travis Kelce, where you're winning multiple championships and you're making good money and you're in a great situation, it makes no sense to chase a bigger bag and go somewhere else. You're in a great situation. So I understand it both ways.
Yeah, no, I get it too. Yeah, Ashley, what you
I
think?
also
What are you
think
doing?
it's easier for him to say that because he is on the Kansas City
He has
Chiefs.
too.
He plays with Patrick Mahomes, and he has multiple Super Bowls. So I wonder if his mindset would be the same if he weren't winning. I think it's easier to say that on the other side of that argument than it is when you are chasing that ring and all you can chase at the moment is the money. And also Travis Kelce, the girls love Travis Kelce. And he's, attractive and marketable. So he does things like SNL. He was recently in Vanity Fair. So, like, his money is also going to come from elsewhere post his career. He has the podcast with his brother that does really well.
I want to say the match is coming up this weekend.
The match he plays, the match is today.
Oh, it's today.
They'll play today against Steph and Clay.
Yeah.
So, like, he's also in a different position where, okay, if he doesn't get the money in football, he'll be able to get it from other aspects. Not everybody is marketable. Not everybody is marketable, in the way that he is, from a fashion standpoint, from a commercial standpoint, from an SNL standpoint. So for him, like I said, it's a little bit easier for him to say that, I don't chase the money, I don't worry about that, because he doesn't have to actually worry about it, if that makes sense. No shade, but it's easier to say that when you're in a different perspective, in a different situation.
Well, in Travis Kelce's situation, I want to say he's in a great situation, because you cannot argue that he's not the best tight end in the NFL. So I think him and his team can also place him at the number one, spot for paid tight ends and whatnot. I think he's deserving of it.
But he doesn't need it, is what I'm saying. So when he says that he doesn't chase the money, and he tells his agent and his manager that, okay, but if you weren't on a winning team, if you didn't already have a Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls, would you have the same energy? I'd be willing to bet he would not.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be willing to bet if you weren't in Vanity Fair,
right,
would you have the same energy? I'd be willing to bet he would not.
No.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's very few Damian Lillards out there.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah. No, but we'll see what Travis Kelce, how that situation turns out. But moving on, Bronny James, he sent a message to all of the doubters on his IG story. It was yesterday. And, he recently signed his letter of intent to USC. He's already there now. And he's looking to prove everybody wrong. I just want to talk about Bronny James right now and this opportunity that he has. One, Stak, do you think he goes one and done at SC? And what type of impact do you think he makes right away?
I want to know who does he have to prove wrong?
Yeah, that was my question.
Nobody, I haven't seen nobody just really hating on him or proving him wrong. He going to USC. It's LeBron James Jr. I think everybody's has high expectations from him. I don't think people are saying that, nobody's measuring up to be his dad, but they're measuring him up to be, his son. A kid that's going to be another NBA player. He's going to be solid. He's going to be a contributor, but he's not going to be the best player ever. I mean, that's shoes, and that's something you don't want to put on your son. Right. You want him to be his own person, even though he has your name. I think the kid's going to be great. He's going to go to USC. He's going to be a star. He's going to go there, play well. He's going to get drafted. He's going to be one and done. He's going to get drafted. And he's going to have a long NBA career. But I don't think he's going to be his dad. And if they're expecting that, then I think that's unfair to him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, and also, like, I'm somebody who is, I think Bronny is dope, but I think the one you got to look out for is Bryce. Bryce is going to be a problem. Bryce is going to be a problem. He's bigger than Bronny already. I mean, if you watch him play, and there's clips out there, if you're not like in the high school circuit and things like that, Bronny is gonna be, Bryce is gonna be a serious problem. Bronny's gonna be a problem, but Bryce is gonna be a problem.
Big problem.
But I'm confused too. I didn't think anybody, I think the only doubt that people had, like Stak said, is can he be LeBron? But he's not LeBron. Right. He's Bronny. I don't think anybody doubted his potential. I think there are some people who were doubting whether or not he was going to go into college. That's already come and gone. So I'm not quite sure, but I guess everybody has doubters. Everyone else has haters. I guess that's who he's addressing. Like Kevin Durant says, the hate drives me. Too much love can kill you. So maybe that's his mindset. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Maybe
maybe that's his mindset.
Yeah.
He's on his KD bag.
Exactly. He got to pull from different areas for motivation. And
what about like Michael Jordan?
IG haters. Was that
Michael Jordan? This is a perfect example, like how he would just pull from anything and just make it.
Michael Jordan took everything personal.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, everything personal.
It was probably like a comment that Bronny saw on the bottom of a random, basketball page post, and he was just like, "Nah, you know what? I'm taking that. I'm going to the gym
He's his daddy's son. Yeah. LeBron's in France, Fashion Week, all the races that are going out there." And he literally does an Instagram post about Michael Malone dissing him at the Denver Nuggets championship parade. It's like, dude, you're in France. Like, why are you even tapped into that?
Right, exactly.
But he's his daddy's son.
When you got that lifestyle, you got to find stuff to motivate you. Like when you come from where we from, you motivated just to continue to be great and not ever go back, right? So, and I think that's the motivation his dad had. You know, his dad wanted to get out, save his mama, and not go back and build a better life for him and his kids and his family. And LeBron did that. So his son got to find what's his motivation. He's trying to find it, and I think that's where he at.
Yeah.
Not mad at it.
No, me either. All right, moving on, guys. Some more, like some culture talk. So if you are familiar or been following up what's been going on in Hollywood, you know that writers have been on strike recently. And what Hollywood has done is actually moved to South Korean writers. And one South Korean writer we're all familiar with is Hwang Dong-hyuk. Hopefully I pronounced his name correctly.
Don't ask me. I don't know how to say it, and I'm not going to correct you.
But yo, that is the writer and director of Squid Games. Stak, I don't know if you watched Squid Games, but that was a crazy Netflix series. And what it did is it increased Netflix value by $900 million. So this guy, Hwang Dong-hyuk, though, is infamous for signing a contract that forfeited all intellectual property rights, and he ended up receiving no residuals, zero residuals. Ashley, can you imagine being responsible for bumping somebody's net worth up $900 million and not getting no money from it?
What? You know how many lawyers I have look at contracts that like I sign? It's a first lawyer. It's like tears in Sega.
Right.
Like it's like one lawyer. Oh, it looks good. All right, we'll hold on to that. Another lawyer. You got to pass like 3 levels of litigation to get for me to sign a deal. Like
right.
That's
like,
crazy that he even signed a deal like that. Because Squid Games
Did he have a big upfront payment? Do you know?
From what I know, it was nothing, man.
There's no way this man got absolutely zero money from. You know how
I'm pretty
quickly
sure
I would sue him.
Something. I mean, yeah, maybe something.
Straight.
Maybe something. I just wish all of these reports and articles included maybe what he had made.
I would literally own Netflix.
I didn't watch
There's
that
a live
shit,
shot of him right there.
You didn't watch Squid Games?
Oh, you didn't watch it, Stak?
No.
Oh,
Hell no.
Squid Games was wild, Stak.
Stak, I ain't gonna lie, you might have to watch Squid Games.
The first episode had me
I'm
like.
not watching this shit.
He said I'm not watching it.
Nah, Squid Games was nuts.
It's enough stuff going on in the real world. I don't need to be worried about Squid Games happening in real life.
I did hate the ending though.
You hated it?
I hated the ending.
I mean, I think it's just it was in line with how the whole series made you feel.
Part of the ending allowed for Squid Games 2. That part, I'm talking about the first part with Buddy. I was like, come on, why are we doing this? Like, this is, but you know what? This is why you don't help people in competition. That just proved my point. But I'm not gonna ruin it for people who haven't seen it.
Oh my
but that literally proved my whole philosophy when it comes to competition.
I can already tell what happened. some shady motherfucker.
Some shady went down for sure.
I knew it.
I don't even need to watch it now. I already know what's up.
I probably know him. He probably grew up with me.
Do you think you could have won Squid Games? Nah,
you would have lost, bro. That was intense. I tell you what.
You definitely would have lost. That's a bad question for you.
No, what you mean? I definitely would have lost.
Definitely lost.
No, I'm a competitor.
But that's a compliment. That's a compliment saying you would have lost. You too good of a dude to win. You got to be a shady motherfucker to win.
I would have won that.
I mean, honestly,
I would have been cutting throats,
got it.
Yeah, I'd have been smart enough to know that. Well, I mean, I guess nobody really knew what they was getting themselves into with this. With this.
Squid Games was the whole premise was the games or whatever, but you also had to have the psyche to be a killer to save yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you couldn't let your conscience and your morals overtake your survival instinct. Can I compartmentalize?
Everybody dying.
Yeah, can I compartmentalize and cut throats if it means save myself? Absolutely.
It got grimy.
Corey, I would slit your throat right now.
It's easy to say right here, like, I was able
Allegedly.
to do it, but like, that's grimy.
Corey, if it's you or me, I would shank you. Like, it'd be over.
Hey, Ashley, how would you do on 60 Days In?
I'm on the same type of time.
I'm murdering all y'all.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I'm on the same type of time after seeing how that first episode ended. I'm like, all right, I know what type of time.
I'm spinning on all y'all.
I'm literally slitting your throat in your sleep if I have to. It's over for you, baby.
I tell you what. I really hope Squid Games 2 live up to the to the standard that the first one set, because that first season was ridiculous.
Yeah, the first season was
I'm telling you,
crazy.
Stak, on a day where you bored and don't got nothing to do. I know you're a busy man and whatnot, but you might have to cut on that Squid Game because it was different.
Y'all make me want to watch it now.
Nah, just watch the first episode. And I mean, obviously it's in you have to read the subtitles because it's not in English, but they're all based on like childhood games, but they have like deadly consequences.
Yeah.
But if you watch the first episode, I promise you,
people going out.
you'll be hooked.
Squid Games, that tug of war episode.
Oh, tug of war was nuts.
That tug of war.
The anxiety. Don't ruin it. Move on. Because some people haven't seen it, but the anxiety levels full anxiety was peaked. It was intense.
What?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on, man. Hey, like I said, Stak, I've been waiting to talk to you about boxing. The time is now. We're actually literally a month away from Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And listen, Stak, I know you're a Texas guy and whatnot, so I'm actually not even sure what side you're on right now. I can imagine you might be leaning towards Errol Spence, being that he's from Texas. But what do you think? How does this turn out? What are you thinking right now going into this fight?
Well, first, you know, I got a great opinion about this fight, and when I'm talking about great fights like this, it's not for me to be biased, right? Errol Spence is deadly from Texas. He's definitely the guy that I'm rooting for. But if I'm talking about this fight, and if anybody asks me should they go for Bud, I would not tell them no. That's how even this fight is. Bud Crawford is a guy that is a special. He's just a perfect boxer. He can do everything. He can adjust to anything at any time, and he has power in both hands. And I think he's going to hit Errol with punches that Errol hasn't been hit with before. But on the side, Errol's the bigger fighter. He's been in bigger fights, and I think he's the more confident fighter. And I think he's going to hit Bud with power that he's never felt before and break Bud down. If you know his last couple of fighters that Errol's fought, orbital sockets, nose, ribs, he breaks guys down by the 6th, 7th, 8th round. And Bud has never felt that type of power. But if I can't say that Errol was going to win, I want him to win, but I think this is a 50-50 fight.
50-50? Okay. Because if I'm being honest, I'm beginning to lean towards Terrence Crawford, Stak. And why I say that is because I got so much respect for Errol Spence. He's a dog, right? He's a dog. He likes to fight inside. He's gonna hit. He's gonna go to the body and whatnot. But my worry is that Terrence Crawford, that dude got some power behind his punches, and he's a great counter puncher. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that Errol Spence, because I think Terrence is gonna let him feel his power early on in the fight. I don't think he's gonna like overcommit on anything. But I just hope that Errol Spence will have multiple game plans going into this fight. That's just my opinion because. I know. Listen, I was watching my film, and I told him this earlier in the week. When I watch fights, I don't watch the highlights. I watch full fights because I want to watch like a fighter over the course of the fight. And Errol Spence, he's somebody. Like I said, he's somebody. He's gonna stay in there. And when the fight I was watching last night was against Ugas, and I think you were there. Weren't you there?
Yep.
Because it was a Showtime fight. Yeah, I was watching. I think you actually even had like your own little. You know what I'm saying? You Mr. Showtime himself. So, but no, but my worry was. I saw Ugas, you know what I'm saying? I saw Ugas have him a little dazed. You remember it when his mouthpiece fell out and whatnot. He had like that opportunity at the very end of the round to put him out.
And still didn't drop him.
He didn't. But for some reason, I was telling Wu, he's another fight fan and whatnot. I was like, maybe he just like had him confused and whatnot. And Ugas didn't even know that, the end of the round was happening or it wasn't happening. I don't know what happened there. But my worry is that if Terrence Crawford has him like that, I don't know. So I think it's gonna be a good fight.
You gotta remember when that happened. If you're talking about the fight against Ugas in Dallas, his mouthpiece fell out, and Ugas got 2 punches off once his mouthpiece fell out because Errol went to look, and that's when he was dazed.
Yeah,
that's when he was dazed, and he still did knock him out. And after that, the fight was stopped 2 rounds after that.
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah, I know. Errol got. He got right on. He got right on. And but like my worry was in that fight too. Ugas, he didn't have any defense in my opinion at all.
Word. And Bud is on a whole nother level.
On a whole nother level. And I wouldn't say he punches as hard, but punch placement is also another thing too, right? He knows how to place punches. So. I don't know, man. Yeah, say, look, who is back? He was watching his film before.
If anyone wants to know who I'm going with whoever anyone tells me I'm going with. Because I don't know anything about boxing. So whoever y'all tell me I should pick is who I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan.
You smart enough to do your homework and start watching boxing for about 5 or 6 months. You know what I'm saying? You a sport head. You'll get it. You'll get into it.
Okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to dedicate the next 5 or 6 months. Stop telling me who to pick, JP. JP's telling me to pick Bud. The chat's telling me to pick Spence. I'm very confused.
Bud's a killer, man. He's a killer.
You can't go wrong either way.
All right, I'm gonna stick with Spence. I'm going with the majority.
Who you got?
I'm going with Bud.
I'm going with Bud too.
You're going with Bud
all day. Look at Ashley flip flopping. No, but like even just like because I'm a bigger MMA fan than I am boxing. But like I love just the sport of fighting. Yeah. And like the biggest difference I see with Bud is like he could be at a distance and swing and still control power.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm watching some of his highlights right now and he's at least a foot or two away.
Yeah.
But it's just his accuracy is so on point.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like he has wiry strength.
Yeah.
Where it's like knockout power, but he doesn't look like he might have knockout power. So I'm going with Bud on this one.
Yeah.
Nothing against Errol.
Yeah. Stak, who you think has more to prove in this fight?
They both. I mean, they're both the best. This is Hearns. You know, I mean, this is Hagler Hearns. This is Sugar Ray Leonard. This is that era. Yeah. This is one of those fights. You know, one of those fights we'll never see again. Yeah. They both at the top. I think they both have a lot at stake. But the good thing about it, we guaranteed to see 2 fights. So let's get it on.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was actually just what I was getting ready to ask. Is there there are no clauses for no rematch, right? Is there a rematch clause in this?
We guaranteed 2
fights. Love that. I love that. I love when they put that in the contract. All right,
guaranteed.
So that's good. That's good. Hey, we'll see. Do you have somebody? If you had to place a bet today, do you have somebody who you would place the bet on? No, you said it's 50-50, but who you got right now? Yeah.
I'm going with Earl. I'm going with Earl all day long.
I'm going with Earl too.
No question about it.
No question about it. Okay. Well, listen.
I'm going with the big fish. Definitely. Staying home. I'm loyal.
Okay.
There you go right there.
There you go. No, it's only right. It's only right.
I just wanted to let you know, I have a report here that says Crawford and Spence will each earn 8 figures guaranteed for the Showtime pay-per-view fight. Mm-hmm. And there's a bi-directional rematch clause that the loser can trigger within 30 days.
Wow.
And they will. Whoever loses definitely will.
They will. Of course, they definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably say that in their post-fight interview.
That's incredible.
8 figures. That's
8
beautiful.
Figure days, bro.
Yeah. All right, now, well, another question before we move on. Do you think this goes to decision or somebody's getting knocked out?
Somebody's getting knocked out.
Yeah. That's what I think too.
That's fun.
I'm honestly thinking this not.
That's how they fight, bro. That's how they both fight.
Yeah.
Errol is pushing, and Bud wants you to push because he's one of the best counterpunchers you've ever seen. Yeah. So somebody going out.
I know in MMA, what do they say? They say styles. Styles make fights.
Yeah, styles make fights.
Yeah, this is really like 2 different styles coming together, and we're gonna really see what's up. So I'm excited, man. July 29th, a month from today. Let's see it. Now, there's another mega fight that's supposedly going to happen in September. I think the date might be September 16th, but that is Canelo Alvarez and Jermall Charlo. Now, Jermall Charlo, he is the current middleweight champ, right? And Canelo is the current super middleweight champ. Now, Jermall is going to be going up to I believe it's 168 to fight Canelo, if I'm not mistaken. And he hasn't fought in 2 years. Now, he defended his belt against it was a Juan Montiel. And, of course, I had to go back and watch my film in that fight, too. And he looked good. He looked good, of course, but Montiel did not hit the canvas. I mean, it was a fight that I'd say Jermall, definitely dominated, but he just couldn't get the knockout. That one went to decision. Stak, what are your thoughts here? What can Jermall Charlo do, after not fighting for 2 years in this fight against Canelo, an all-time great?
Yeah, I was at that fight in Houston.
Yeah.
And it was a tough one. He was going through a lot at the time. He talked about it. He talked about it on the podcast. He talked about it in other places. But I think for Canelo, it's a smart move for Canelo to fight him. With Benavidez calling him out. Benavidez has been calling Canelo out for almost 3 years now. Right. And Canelo don't want to fight him, but you choose to fight Charlo at a time where he'd been two years off from being in the ring. So that's smart on the Charlo side. I don't think it's smart on the Charlo side. And then again, I haven't seen the date. I've seen a lot of people say it, but I haven't seen the date. Normally when these fights are locked in, you have a date. Nobody's giving us a date yet. So I don't even know if this fight going to happen.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I've been seeing September. To your point, I haven't really seen a date yet. But if it does happen, do you feel Charlo has a chance? I mean, we're talking about, I'd say Charlo's strengths. He has power, right? He has, he's kind of like a Earl Spence. He just has that dog in him. He's not afraid to fight inside. He's gonna try and keep the ring as small as possible, right? He's gonna try and keep his opponent in front of him. We're talking about Canelo Alvarez. Like you said, I think this was just, it's very intentional on his end. It was smart for him to maybe throw him on, because he signed a 3-fight deal, I believe, with WBC, and he's planning on this to being
PBC.
It's PBC. Excuse me. Yeah, PBC. Yeah. And this is gonna be his first fight. So, yeah. What are Jermall's chances here? What should be his game plan if this fight does take place?
I had him on my show, Fight Times, and I had a chance to spend a lot of time with him. He's been training. He's in good spirits, but being out the ring 2 years is a different thing. You know what I mean? I just like playing. I just like being away from basketball 2 years. It's gonna take you a month or two just to get the rust off and get your timing back to playing basketball to be able to compete on the high level. I think he should take a fight. I should take a fight first before he fight Canelo. You know, I'm not in this camp. That's just like a little brother of mine. You know, I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks, but I don't know. I just don't think he should take this fight. Canelo's in another space. Maul have to go up and wait to take this fight, and Canelo is a hard puncher, man. I just wish he would take a fight, you know, considering everything he's been through in the last 2 years, and now he's got his mind right. He's back to being happy and ready to box again. I think he should take a fight before he fight Canelo, because that's another level of the game.
I agree. I mean, it is June.
Not saying he can't do it. You know, that's my boy.
Yeah,
I believe in
of
him.
course.
But I think a tune-up fight before that would serve him better.
Yeah, you know, me and JP, he's one of our other producers. We were talking before the show, and we were just like, I feel like he would just have to be, you know, foot on the gas, just out punch him, really with like the Floyd Mayweather, you know, game plan. He would have to fight a fight almost similar to how Floyd defeated Canelo. It's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge.
Well, I have a question for you.
What's
Another
up?
Fight, potential fight. Who would win, me or Corey?
She wildin'.
Is weapons involved?
No. Strictly hands.
She gonna have to have a strap. She gonna have to
All
have
right.
a strap.
Hold on. Is
What,
this,
please? I don't need a strap to whoop you.
is
Get
this
out of
boot
here.
versus boot?
Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey. She think you a chump.
Yeah, why she trying me
Yeah,
like
she
that?
do.
Why she trying
That's why I had to ask
me
if
like
weapons.
that?
No weapons, straight hands. Mano y mano. Who
I
wins?
gotta give Corey just on weight and size.
Weight or
She wildin'.
size?
She wildin'.
Yeah.
She about to make me tap into
Hey.
like a post-football career.
Tall people get knocked out every day, B. Okay.
Hey. She's saying she got that wire
Clarissa
strength.
Shields, I put all my money on you as Clarissa Shields.
Oh,
But
Oh,
I don't know.
that's crazy. So nobody thinks I could whoop Corey?
Come on now.
If you sneak up on them and choke them out, I think you got a chance.
And if they in the comments disrespecting
Don't
me,
let
that's
this
crazy.
fool you. I can get
we liked
scrappy.
Huh?
Don't let this fool you. I can get
I feel you,
scrappy.
but all I got to do is grab them wrists, have that wrist control. There ain't nothing she could do.
You don't think
know
I
what
could
I'm
have?
saying?
I'm
Come
not
on,
gonna say it, but you don't think I've ever
I don't
had my
even know
wrist
why-
held down?
I don't even know why I'm explaining that.
Oh my God.
Wait, I actually just missed what she said.
Hey,
What
what's
she said?
happening to this fight?
Wait, what did you just say?
I said, you don't
going
think I've ever
somewhere
had my
else.
wrist pinned down? I can get out of a wrist hold.
She wildin'. She wildin'. Hey man, that's
Hey, man,
that's
this-
wild.
I've had practice.
That's wild.
This fight just went
Hey, but
left.
we missing one fight though. We
What's
got a
that?
fight coming this week. Next weekend, the Boogeyman, Boots Ennis.
Oh, he
You know,
is fighting
that's-
next weekend.
Yeah, he's in Atlantic City, and that's gonna be my first fight, y'all. That I
Yeah.
ringside call on the prelims, so I'm excited about
Oh,
man.
congrats.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Well, you know me. You
Thanks.
know I'm gonna be locked in. Who Boots got? Who Boots got? I like Boots. He's tough.
it. He's really fighting somebody just in the way. This is just
Yeah.
another fight because
Just
he's
a-
supposed to take the winner out of Boots and out of Arrow and Bud. He's supposed to be the next guy to fight those guys. Scotty Thurman is running from Boots Ennis.
Yeah.
Boots been trying to take that fight. So I guess this is just a fight that he need to take where he can knock this guy out. But every fight that he's been taking until he get that big fight has been tough guys where he can at least get a good night of fighting in, and it won't be no easy fight for him.
Yeah, no, I like Boots. And you know what? That's funny that you brought him up because if and of course, you know, I'm leaning towards Terrence Crawford, but I think Boots and Errol Spence would be a nice matchup. That'd be just a nice fight to see. That'd be a good fight to see. Yeah. And well, you know, while we're on the topic of boxing too, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, right? We saw Shakur Stevenson when he was at a club sent over a bottle to Devin Haney, right? Like, what's your thoughts on all like those guys in that weight division, that weight range, right? I'm talking about Devin Haney. I'm talking about Shakur Stevenson. I'm even talking about Gervonta Davis. When are all of these guys gonna fight each other?
Well, I mean, you know, Tank. You know, I'm Team Tank over here. Tank definitely wants to fight Devin Haney. His team has said that they wanted to fight him next.
Yeah.
But you know, Tank had a little situation, but he'll be home soon. Minor setback, major comeback.
Yeah, of course.
But Devin Haney and Shakur would be a great fight. I mean, that's the next biggest fight unless Shakur or Haney is fighting Tank. You know, Tank is the cash cow.
Absolutely.
You know, he the one selling out arenas, but Shakur knows something there. Right? See how confident he is? He knows something.
Exactly.
When they spar, like he feels confident he can go in there and get Devin Haney out of there.
Yeah.
So he's really licking at the chops to fight him. That's why he's calling them out, sending them bottles at the club and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, when you look at those three guys, Devin Haney's the bigger fighter, right? He has a jab. You know, he's a smart kid,
right.
and he fights behind his jab. Not too much power. Shakur is the polished fighter. He got defense. Like he like Floyd. He's swift. Got good timing with his punches. His defense. He's definitely hard to hit. He's the hardest one to hit out of all three of them.
Yep.
Then you go into the cash cow, the baby gorilla, Tank. Tank laying people out. He's the one with the power.
Yep.
So all those guys are excited in that weight class. But I think they're gonna start fighting each other soon.
I cannot wait till they start fighting each other.
I agree, but I didn't like the way Haney looked in his last fight.
Against Lomachenko?
It was rough.
He lost. He lost that fight.
Really?
Man.
That's how you feel? I don't think
that's how I felt. I didn't want to say nothing, but that's how I felt.
So just imagine if Tank hit him with them left hands.
Right.
Like
That's how I feel. That's what I learned in the Lomachenko fight. I learned that when Haney, and like to your point, right? I think you said Shakur Stevenson see something in David Haney. He knows from all the sparring sessions he had, but I really think he saw something in that Lomachenko fight that said, you know what? No, I think I got
this guy.
Yeah, I can get him. So
I'm glad Stak agreed with me, man. I thought that was an L.
Yeah, we'll see. What I was thinking initially was going to happen was like right after the Ryan Garcia fight, I thought we was going to learn that Tank and Shakur were going to fight immediately. But when I saw how Devin Haney fought against Lomachenko in that fight, I'm like, well, now he might have to fight. He might have to fight Shakur Stevenson before he fights Tank. So I mean, we'll see.
The way Tank knocked out Ryan, that changed a lot of people's minds who was at that fight.
Right. It sure did. It sure did. Because they happened quick. You know what I'm saying? Like what was that, round 7 that fight was over?
I think it was 7 or 6.
Yeah.
2 knockdowns.
Yeah, exactly. And when he knocked him down, I think that was in the third. I think it was in the second or third.
Yeah, the first knockdown. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
That's when everybody was like, all right, yeah, Tank for real. Yeah, Tank for real. But all right, I think Ashley's ready for some
breaking
NBA
news
talk.
though. 3 hours ago, the GOAT has landed in Miami.
Paul George?
Oh, my God.
Not Paul George. Messi is finally in the 305. He landed about 3 hours ago, obviously via private jet, because only the best for the GOAT. Messi in Miami, the era has officially begun. We are here.
Why does that feel like it's going to be a tag? Messi in Miami.
It probably is.
Right?
That do roll off the tongue.
Messi in Miami.
Hey, you know, we ain't moved by that. The brothers ain't really moved by that.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Messi is the GOAT. I'm so excited to actually.
He might be the GOAT, but that ain't moving the brother. My Jordan was coming on the show.
I've really been excited though. I've never gotten to see him play like outside of watching him on TV, because obviously I actually have never been to Europe yet. It's on my list, but I've never been able to see him play.
Wait, that almost went over
I've never been to. Oh my God, has everyone here been to Europe but me?
Yeah, I mean,
my son just invited me to Iceland.
Oh, that's
wow.
tough. You get cold in Iceland.
Meanwhile, we got local Ashley over here.
Wow, that's mean. No, I've never been to Europe. I'm half Italian.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why it's so amazing.
Ashley.
No.
Yeah.
Around the way, Ashley.
Yeah, around the way.
I've been to Little Italy. I've been to Chinatown. I've been to Koreatown. I've been to all those places.
Where's the first spot in Italy you want to go to?
Oh, definitely Sicily. That's where my family is from. So I would love.
So
to
you
go
mean to tell
Sicily.
me B. Marshall was taking these pictures out there and didn't invite y'all?
Don't get me started, Stak. That's a different conversation.
Wow.
We trying to have a good show.
We trying to have a good show, not a messy show. But don't get me started.
Get it messy in Miami.
Talk about B.
The hashtag messy in Miami. You feel me?
For real, no.
Go ahead.
That's too crazy.
What we got, Corey?
All right, so we're gonna talk the NBA. Yesterday, the NBA and the NBPA complete and signed their new collective bargaining agreement. So what we got is a few details from that. It was like a 676-page document.
A whole lot of pages.
It was a lot of pages. So what we did was took five. Oh my God. We've taken. I feel like I messed it up the reverse way before. Whatever. We took several details out of the new deal. And we're going to start with the first one, kind of go one by one. So how about this, Stak? Teams will now be able to play in a game on the same day as they travel 2 time zones. It was previously capped at 1 time zone. What are they doing here for the players? I mean, of course, this is something that the players had to agree on. But do you think this is something that they'll be too high on?
Nah, because it's been done before. It's been times where planes or weather you couldn't travel, you had to leave that morning and play the same day. So they seen it's been done before. Okay. So that's why it was so easy for them to agree to that.
I see. That makes sense.
And it won't happen often.
Yeah. I mean, we'd hope that the NBA would try to avoid that as much as often. So that's a fair point there. Another one was, we got here, players are allowed now to hold passive, non-controlling interest in sports betting or fantasy companies, but are limited to less than 1%. They can also endorse those same like sports betting and fantasy companies. Ashley, what you think about that? Isn't that a pretty cool opportunity now for the
about to
athletes?
get messy in Miami, you know what I'm saying?
Man, this just makes the NFL look bad to me.
It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but I also think it's going to be borderline problematic.
Yeah.
Especially when it starts working in favor of the athlete. It's only time before the NBA is like, I don't like how this is. I don't like how this is looking. Also, there was another part that active players can have stake in other teams as long as it's not their team. So, like, hypothetically speaking, you could play for the Lakers and have a stake in the Clippers, which is very problematic.
But what happens if you get traded to that team?
Well, that's my question.
Oh,
like,
right.
does
That's
that, if you're able to have stake in other teams as an active player, as long as it's not your team, doesn't that affect like the trade market, free agency? Like, what stops you from being traded to a team you have ownership in? And do I now have to give up my ownership? There's just a lot of things in there. I feel like this is a little, I don't know. I'm not trying to stop no money from flowing in somebody's pocket, but this seems a little, I don't know what CJ was thinking when he came up with this one.
All right, you're a player, Stak. Are you taking advantage of these new opportunities that the NBA will be allowing you for?
Man, that's bullshit. They should not be doing that, bro. Yeah. They should not be doing that. It should never be a time where you playing for another team and you can worry about making money with another team.
Right. Yeah.
Huh?
That's Yeah,
that don't make sense.
That
don't make sense.
Like, it doesn't.
Like that goes back to the whole stuff, you know, back when they caught those college players making deals with people and tanking games, missing shots on purpose. Like all that shit can come into play.
Right.
With letting guys, like it's just too much. Players should never be able to bet on games, make money off other teams. They should be focused on the money they make from the team that they work for and winning games. That's too much to worry about. Half these players now can't even chew gum and tie their shoes at the same time, let alone being able to gamble, play on one team, and even half of them don't even want to play. Yeah. Most of them want to just get the money and sit on the sideline. You know, they sitting out 20 games like this. It's too much shit in the game now. It's not it's not about basketball, and it's ruining the competition. It's just too much other stuff. Instead of just competing and playing basketball. I hate it, bro. I hate it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Also, I mean, 1%.
They making enough money.
1% ownership. I know some people are like, 1%, that's it. 1% of like $1 billion is a lot. Like, think about it this way. I'll put this into perspective. Flo Rida had a 1% stake in Celsius before Celsius went public.
Yep.
He was an early investor, 1% stake in Celsius. When they went public, he made, what was it, like $300 million? Something like that?
90 million.
What was it?
I thought it was 90 million.
$100 million?
I mean, that's still a lot.
So think about it this way. You have a 1% stake in a sports book, right?
82.6.
82.6 is what he made. So let's round it to 90.
It's a good flip.
So if you have a 1% stake in a sports book, think about it in terms of an investment. The more money that sports book makes, the larger it grows, the bigger the return on the investment. So 1% of $1 billion is a lot of cash. So what would stop, not saying all players would do this, but what would stop players from making sure that their sports book is the most profitable? How are you the most profitable? Is when you are able to not have to pay out a lot of bets, right? So you get a lot of bets in, and how I believe it works is the most profitable sports books are the ones that get a lot of people placing bets, but they don't have to give a lot of that money back because people aren't winning. It's like a casino. Casinos make money.
House wins.
The house wins. The house always wins.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
if you are making sure the house always wins, that increases the profitability of the sports book that you have an investment in, which ultimately then increases your investment because that's going to be your return. It could get a little messy, especially when we're talking about players who aren't making Donovan Mitchell money, who aren't making LeBron James money. What if you're a guy, you know, the eighth man on the bench,
on his cell phone making bets.
Well, yeah, like what if you're not making that much money? What if you're a player who's only, and I put this in quotes, only making a couple $1 million, and you really don't know where your next team is gonna be?
Right.
You're a journeyman. What if you're how does that stop you from throwing games? How does that stop referees from throwing games? How does that stop you in cahoots with referees from throwing games?
And we've seen it all, Ashley. We've seen it all before.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. All of this endorsement around sports betting, it's what they're trying to protect the integrity of the game, but it's gonna hurt it. It's gonna hurt it.
It's ruining it.
Yeah, we're gonna see it ruin it in the NFL and in the NBA. And I have a theory too with another detail that we have coming up here. I'll save it for that. But yeah, sports betting, I don't know, man. I'd say it's taking a hold on a lot. But next detail: players must be on the floor for 20 minutes in at least 65 games to be eligible for honors, including NBA MVP and all NBA teams. What are your thoughts on this, Stak?
Love it.
Oh man,
I think it should be more.
Yeah, 65.
It should be more.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Should be
Jesus.
like 75,
No,
man.
For real.
The elite of the
man,
elite.
for
you know?
real.
Yeah, it's about
I come from an era we took pride in playing 82.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We tried our best to play 82 games, and we wasn't even close. We wasn't even nominated for none of those awards. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to play 82 games, just to pat ourselves on the back. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad they putting something in there because a lot of these guys, they're making a lot of money and they need to earn it. A lot of these guys are sitting on the side, and I ain't hating on their pockets, but I want to see y'all play. You know what I'm saying? Was a lot of guys that played the game in different eras. You know what I'm saying? For them to be able to get the money they get in the day. A lot of guys, played with bad shoes, didn't have trainers. Then you got guys, that came in that was fighting to play 82. Yeah. Some of the stars in the game that was playing 82. So just appreciate that and appreciate where the game has grown, but also appreciate the game the same way the guys did before you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ashley, you have anything to add there?
No, I love it. I mean, I'm tired of seeing, guys be eligible for all NBA teams and they only played half a season.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Then it becomes a popularity vote.
I wish I could have graduated college only going half a year. Like, it's not how it works. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like insane. I think that in its core, there's benefits to it, especially when you're on a team that maybe relies heavily on one player. But I feel like it's become just egregiously used. Like, you have a paper cut. Oh, he's not going to play today's game. Like, it's like, come on. It's being overused, and I think that's where it becomes problematic. And it's unfortunate. I think back to what Kobe Bryant said, rest in peace, Kobe Bean Bryant. And they asked, and when Vanessa was speaking at his memorial service, and we've heard Kobe say this before, but she reiterated it, and she said that, Kobe would tell her, when she asked him, why are you playing in today's game? Like, you're hurt. Like, he'd be iced up all over his body on the sidelines, and he would say, I'm thinking about all the kids who saved up their money to come see me play. I can't let them down. That this may be the only opportunity they have to see me play, and they saved all year for this ticket. Who would I be to not play because of a sore knee or because, my back doesn't feel right today? And I think that dedication has been lost a little bit because load management has made it acceptable for players at the slightest inconvenience to say, oh, I'm not playing. And I'm not saying if you're majorly injured, you should play. I'm not saying that because that causes other issues. But we have guys who aren't playing for sore backs. Everybody's back is sore. Yeah. And when you hit 30, your back is sore every single day.
Every day you wake up.
You wake up and your back is sore. Like it gets a little frustrating to see the quality of the game deteriorate because of load management. And on top of that, you'll have some games where they're like marquee games and it's the Lakers versus the 76ers and it's the B squads playing each other. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah.
I've been a victim of that, actually.
That's
I've
why
gone
Kobe's
to
a
a
champion,
game.
though.
Right.
That's different. Like that whole vibe, like that's why people cry when they win championships, right? Mm-hmm. That's why people hold that trophy up and cry and shed real tears because you can sit there and say, the pain was worth it. I know how I felt. People don't understand the fingers, the broken fingers, popping them back, the knees, all that. Like, I went through all that for my goal and I reached it. I achieved it. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand and are willing to go through that. You know what I mean? And that's why people cry because it's worth it. You know what I mean? To be the champion, it's worth it playing hurt. It's worth it playing with a sore ankle. Not wanting to play the next day, not getting no sleep, whatever you got going at home. It's worth putting that all beside and going out there and playing the game. So, you know, when you're a champion and if you experience that, and if you really want to be the best at what you do at least one time in your life, then you'll understand that.
I mean, think about Jamal Murray when he won that championship just a few weeks ago.
Perfect example.
Yep, it is.
Why it was so heavy for him. I mean, this is somebody who a season ago couldn't walk.
Right.
I mean, they played that montage of him, and he said there were nights that he was kept up at night, 0 sleep, because of the pins and needles he felt in his leg and just the severe pain. And he, you know, at one point thought that the Denver Nuggets were going to give up on him because he was, quote, damaged goods. I mean, he fought back from a major injury and as a world champion. Think of Klay was constructed to relieve your star player here and there from exhausting them to become postseason, that they were healthy and ready to go, has now just become a free-for-all. And anytime you just don't want to play a game or you're on a back-to-back, it's like, load management, I'm cool. I'm going to sit here.
Yeah, or I got this new fit.
And sis, this was crazy, though. 2 months before the season started, we had Murray on the show. And he was not confident at all. I'm not ready. I'm playing one-on-one, but I'm not confident, not ready. And he come out and win a championship after 2 years of being off from injury. So I understood those tears. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy they pulled it off. They definitely deserve it.
Hell yeah.
Me too. Absolutely. Well, listen, on the note of load management, right, that leads me into this next detail.
Are we talking about Kawhi? Is this a Kawhi topic?
No. It's the next detail. Is the next detail in the new CBA deal. So now, Stak, I don't know if you heard of this, but the NBA will now hold an in-season tournament. So I'll give you kind of like the breakdown of how this works. All 30. He already got it. Yeah, listen, there's a whole bunch I really want to, a whole bunch of layers I want to peel back here.
Is working.
Yeah, because I honestly think there's not much really the NBA gets out of this, right? So all 30 teams will be eligible for this in-season tournament. And what they'll do is before the NBA season, they'll designate certain regular season games leading up to this in-season tournament as games that will that'll be meaningful to the seeding of this in-season tournament. The top 8 teams in that seeding will participate in this in-season tournament, and there's basically 3 rounds, including the championship. So those 8 teams, those 8 teams that go through, like the first round, there'll be 2 matchups in the second round, and then the winner, will be the winner. Stak. I
don't understand this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Can I see a bracket?
Can I get a simplified version of this, sir? Because I'm confused. So
where did I lose you? I could still walk you through it.
You lost me at the beginning.
At the very beginning.
Like, I don't understand.
I mean, listen to me.
I don't want to be found.
I'm confused. So throughout the season, there are 3 tournaments being played, with 1 being the NBA Finals. Is that I'm confused.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's going to end up being. So it's the in-season tournament, like I said.
So it's 3 in-season tournaments technically, because you said there's 3 tiers.
No, 1. There's 1. There's the tournament. Look, the tournament is actually, they're going to designate certain games out of the regular season, right, as games that will count to the seeding for that tournament. That one in-season
What's the tournament for? Is what I'm confused by. Is it the championship tournament?
This is just for. I don't know. Maybe like a trophy.
What is this?
I don't know.
You got to tell her the prize.
In-season trophy.
It's for kicks and giggles.
Like, what do you win? What do you win?
Literally.
Do you win a ring?
This is
$500,000.
This is the incentive. So the winners win $500K. The losing team of the in-season tournament championship gets $200K. The losers of the semifinal get $100K, and the losers of the quarterfinal win $50K. So if you make it into the in-season tournament, even if you lose, you at least get $50K. So money really is the incentive.
Okay,
Stak.
first of all,
postseason
this is
nothing.
Not AAU.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not that.
Right.
This is not an invitational. This is the NBA. Be serious.
Uh-huh.
Second of all, so what's the bragging rights here? You win the tournament, but you miss the playoffs? Is that what I'm getting at? Right. Oh, yeah, we won the in-season tournament, but 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Yeah.
I don't understand what this is for.
Right.
What is the reason?
Well, look, and what I wanted to point out.
What's
mid-season NBA champ.
Because, look, we're here, and we're coming from the load management conversation, right? And what I'm thinking is, because like I said, they're going to designate these games that count towards the seeding.
Corey
defending this hard.
You can explain this to me 100 different ways. It doesn't make it any less dumb.
No, what I'm like, no, but does that not devalue regular season games also for teams? It's
stupid.
It devalues the whole season.
It's dumb.
The whole season.
You winning an in-season tournament, a fake tournament, Like, it's AAU.
Just to still not make the playoffs.
Just to not make the playoffs doesn't mean anything. We're playing for championships. We're playing for rings, not cash.
What's $50K to someone making $10 million a year?
My point exactly.
Right.
And regular season is supposed to be the time where your team is building chemistry, getting on the same page, becoming a band of brothers, playing for each other, learning how to be selfless, being on the string to get to the point to where, okay, bam, you may have 1 or 2 at playoff break that's in the All-Star game. Bam. Then your team's supposed to come back together and try to stay healthy and keep building to become a playoff team. That's what the regular season is supposed to be for. It's not supposed to be extra tournaments and all that shit. You really gonna see guys not playing because the guys that's been in the league, I guarantee you, they are focused on the same goal that's been their goal since they came in the league.
Right.
Staying healthy all regular season and playing and turning up the level, try to get to the NBA championship. And you're not gonna have not too many star guys that's gonna be thinking about, oh man, I'm getting ready for this tournament.
In November.
Right.
It's the Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, no, that's honestly what it is, right, at this point.
You got the Turkey Bowl, you got the Christmas Bowl, you got the Valentine's Day Bowl, the MLK Bowl.
This would be good for the B-roll players. The money,
I don't
the
even
games.
Know. Well, so look, remember earlier I said I had a theory on how I think sports betting is actually related to this, because what I think the NBA was looking to achieve was some competitive basketball at the middle of the season, right? And what is that gonna, make people more inclined to do? Bet on those games because they're meaningful games. You know what I'm saying? So I think again, we said earlier, sports betting is kind of just ruining basketball. That's my theory. I think they want to make it competitive all through, or they, this is their thought that this is the thought that they can make this more competitive.
You know what, Corey?
You
know what? You got a point.
Yeah.
But it's still bullshit.
It is, man. That's how they run these leagues, though. That's how they run these leagues.
That's how they do, bro.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's the sports.
I don't see the reason.
Do you like it, Corey? Because you seem like you like it.
Because look, I'm somebody. I'll be honest, Stak, and the reason why I make this point is because I'm actually a sports bettor, and what that did was make me watch more games. It made me watch more NBA games.
Then it worked.
And what it especially come playoff time and NBA finals, those are meaningful games. You know what to expect. Those games are slightly more predictable. Those are the games you're going to be more willing to bet on. And that's why I make that point, because in these in-season tournaments, people are going to be relying on these teams are going to be relying on their star players. And there might be guys like to the point you guys been making, maybe the guys at the end of the roster, maybe those teams that are the 7th, 8th seed, those guys might feel the incentive to, gain a little extra money. So they're going to be playing hard, right? But that's the point I make. I think that's going to be an opportunity for bettors to really make a lot of money in those in-season tournaments. So that's my theory there. I don't know.
The league is now not worrying about the players being in shape, but they're worrying about the bettors being championship shape come playoff time.
No, they're worrying about the bettors.
I just don't, and also I think that's I literally think that's what this whole thing was about. Making basketball, regular season basketball, more interesting for the casuals and for the sports bettors, because true NBA fans don't have an issue with the NBA season. Brandon always says he doesn't start watching until April. That's not a real basketball fan. Yeah. True basketball fans are watching from the start of the season to the end of the season. Yeah. You may not hit every single game. Obviously, it's impossible to watch every single game, especially when there are nights there's 12 games on at one time.
Right.
But you're watching in some capacity multiple teams throughout the course of the multiple games on any given night from beginning to end. All this did was a way to bring in more viewership for people who aren't casual watchers.
Yeah.
And who are casual watchers, and to make more incentive for people to want to bet on the games. It doesn't really, I personally don't think it adds to the quality of the game. It may add to the entertainment factor of the game, but it doesn't, I don't see what this does, because again, we're not talking about a tournament that has playoff ramifications.
Right.
We're talking about an in-season tournament where the end goal is money for guys who are making
a lot of money.
A lot of money. Yeah. $50,000. Some guys pay that in fines every season.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like $500,000 something. Draymond pays that in fines every
That
season.
might be one
Make
game
back
for
his
Draymond.
That's one game for Draymond in fines. Like it doesn't.
You go hard for that $500,000 in one game, tear your leg up, your team will have a chance to win the championship. Was it worth it?
Right.
See, that's a crazy perspective there, right? Like, yeah, come on, man. It doesn't really help anything.
And what good is winning that AAU tournament if you go home in the postseason?
1, 2, 3 Cancun.
1, 2, 3 Cancun. It's like, yeah, I'll take my check. I'm heading to Tulum. I'll take it in pesos.
No, for real.
Not a good idea, man.
All right, listen, last detail we have from the new CBA deal. NBA removes cannabis from its prohibited substance list. Is it about time, Stak?
Finally.
I thought they did this already.
No, I
They
guess
did. I mean, it's been off the list for me.
Yeah.
It was on the list.
But see, that's the thing, though, right? So you had me and a lot of guys that I'm cool with. We did it for the right reasons. That's why we never got caught. You know, we was in a drug program a lot of times, but we never got suspended. We never missed games because we did it for the right reasons. You know, a lot of guys was getting caught with it in the car and all that type of stuff. Like we never. So I think it's to the point where they understand where now it's legal everywhere, and it's healthier for guys to do after games to come down instead of shoving all these pills and all these man-made medicines in their mouth that people really don't want to take anyway. And it's helping them because, you know, there's a lot of guys that played that was on all these medicines to play. Then when they stopped playing, you know, they couldn't afford all these medicines. Now you're leaving these people just to die, right? So it's safer for them to not test for cannabis when guys are going to smoke it anyway. And it's safer for guys, you know, it helps guys come down after games and also help guys recover to be able to play.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree. I'm somebody who doesn't, I think I'm somebody who likes to take the natural approach with medicine and healing. You know, you can do a lot with food, you can do a lot with, you know, all types of plants and things like that. So I think that this is great, especially, you know, opioids is a major crisis in this country. So if we can avoid unnecessarily giving people opioids and other drugs that ultimately become addictive, and some people do develop serious addictions to it just to mask pain, even if whether they have it or not. It's just when you're accustomed to constantly taking something for something as small as a headache to as major as an injury, you know, you begin to not know how to function without it. So I think it's beneficial in that regard. And much to Stak's point, I mean, it's hard to restrict something that's legal in most of the country. It's like, because you're not breaking any laws by doing it. Right. So there's really nothing that you can legally stand on to prevent people from doing it when half the country has already passed those laws. So I think it's about time it's in writing. I think a lot of players were doing it anyway because they did stop testing for it. It may not be officially, it may not have been officially banned, but they stopped testing for it for a while. Like in the bubble, I think it started. They stopped testing for it. So
yeah, this was coming in
because they knew there was nothing else to do in the bubble but get high.
It's two major players that people need to thank. You know, I mean, me and Matt, you know, we was the first to say talk about it on ESPN and do all that, but it's two other people that really that the players need to thank besides me and Matt. Al Harrington. Yes. Al Harrington, he went and sat down with David Stern, and he went and sat down with the commission now and told them the positive side of cannabis, you know, why it's legal, what it does for players, you know, him and his back surgeries and everything he went through, and why, you know, it should be available to players. Two, Steve Kerr. When he was going through his back situation, you know, he said that he took cannabis for pain and how it helped him get back on the sideline. So those two guys been able to speak on it, knowing that it's big in our culture. I thank those guys for stepping up and speaking for it because a lot of guys need it.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Stak, before we let you go, I just want to get your thoughts on
KD too is a big advocate for it, right? Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we've seen him in multiple interviews actually say that. So. But yeah, Stak, before we let you go, I want to ask you, you know, what your thoughts were on some of these trade moves and some potential moves in free agency and whatnot. The latest report we're hearing is that D'Angelo Russell, or rather the Lakers are planning to re-sign D'Angelo Russell. What do you think happens here? Do you think D'Angelo Russell is a good fit, or do you see this potentially being like a sign and trade situation?
Yeah, I think it'll be a sign and trade if somebody wants him. I mean, if they sign him for a lot of money, and they're definitely trying to get Kyrie over. Everybody know they're trying to land Kyrie, and if that don't happen, they'll be stuck with him. So they got to be smart of what kind of contract they put him in. Yeah. Nobody really knows Kyrie's intentions right now, whether he want to go back to Dallas or if he wants to go to LA. So that's a sticky situation that really Dallas and the Lakers are in.
What's your thoughts on this situation right here, Ashley?
My thoughts are you just said whatnot, so there's a shot.
Oh, did I?
Yep.
Well, that was the first one of the show, though, so I did good.
I mean, yeah, I agree. It has to be a sign and trade because he really didn't bring anything to the table that would make you keep him when you needed him the most. I mean, he kind of disappeared a lot in that in the postseason, and I just don't think that you can have two inconsistent players on your team. You already have AD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't have two of them.
Right.
So it'll be interesting where they're able to trade him to. But that entire Lakers team is going to look drastically different. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting how different, especially with, you know, Kyrie borderline staying in Dallas, borderline being in LA. It's going. Bradley Beal now off the market. Porzingis now off the market. A lot of the names that we're still waiting on Damian Lillard, but we might be waiting for a while because I think he's staying in Portland. It'll be Chris Paul now in Golden State. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those names that were out there to potentially go to the Lakers are slowly dwindling down. The last piece I would feel like is Dame. Does Dame make that move? I don't know.
Yeah.
What would the Lakers even give to them to get him? Right.
Well, and you know, the Lakers actually said that they're interested in bringing in Bruce Brown. I think that actually might be a good addition for him. Of course, that's not a superstar, but we see, you know, how high his value was on the Nuggets. So I think that'd be a good move there. But one of the names you mentioned was Chris Paul. Stak, mm-hmm. I want to know what your thoughts are on Chris Paul and how that will work in Golden State.
Well, I mean, you know, regardless where Chris Paul at, where he lands, he's still one of the smartest players on the court. Still one of the smartest players on the team. IQ is unbelievable, and I think for him to be out there, he's going to give you something that Jordan Poole didn't give him, and that's consistency. Mm-hmm. He's going to be able to run the offense. He's going to be able to get Steph and Clay the ball just how they need to, and he's going to be a positive person in the locker room and on that sideline. So. It gives them a chance to also keep Draymond, which they don't have a chance without Draymond. So it makes sense. I like Chris Paul there. I like what he's going to bring, and this gives him a great chance to trying to get a championship.
But I mean, well, I have several questions though. Is he a starter on this team? And then another question I have too is, I just feel that, and this is an opinion that a lot of other people have too. I just feel like Chris Paul is just going to slow up that offense. Do you think he can move at the pace that the Warriors move at?
I definitely think he can. I don't think Phoenix plays a pace style of game, but I think if he's not a starter, then he's going to fit in great with that second group because you can give Steph a blow, which they always do. They give Steph a blow early. Now it's Wiggins time. You know, you can run a lot of plays for Clay, and when Wiggins can get more shots up. So I think it'll work. He's a professional, bro, and he wants to win bad. So I think it'll work. It'll look good.
Yeah,
and it also matters what other players they bring in. Like they need to add some bigger guys because they can't play that small lineup with Steph, Clay, and Chris Paul. They're gonna get killed on the defensive end. So they got to find a way to bring in some bigger guys to help Wiggins out on the defensive end.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else? You got anything else, Ashley? You want to add or ask that?
How do you think this? I'm curious because I remember you were infamously here when Brandon Marshall said depth doesn't matter. He's gonna die on that hill. But it's interesting because it seemed as though the Phoenix Suns, their saving grace with the whole Bradley Beal trade was that DeAndre Ayton was going to be the monopoly piece that they could move to go ahead and add depth to their team. Now it's come out that they're not going to move DeAndre Ayton, so all you did was take Chris Paul out of the equation and put Bradley Beal in there. So now once again you have a big 3+1 but no bench. What's going on in Phoenix? Why can't they learn from their mistakes?
I don't know. I like that look. You know, I like that look with those four guys. But like we say, you have to have some other guys because there's gonna be a lot of nights where those four guys are not gonna be rolling. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be nights where they just not clicking it and they not having energy. You're gonna need those 4 or 5 guys on that sideline. So that's going to dictate their season. Yeah, you got the big 4. Yeah, you got those guys that can put up a lot of numbers. But injuries happen. All kind of things happen during the course of a season. You're going to need those guys to fill in. That's why I say these tournaments and all this stuff is nonsense because you got bigger things to focus on during the course of a season and not no tournament. Especially if you really putting these teams together to win championships, then that's what your focus should be all season was to building that championship team. And they have the core, but you're right, Ash. I don't think that team is built as far as roster-wise to be a championship team yet.
And speaking of KD, last one, how do you feel about KD in Twitter Spaces defending himself to the Twitter trolls that exist in the Twitter space?
Because they out there, especially for him.
Well, let me say this. I have a petty gene as well. So it's a lot of times, okay, bam. So it's been times where, you know, I might post something, just me, I'm feeling good, just post something positive, and it's always that one person that has to come in there and say something that has nothing to do with the post and be negative. So sometimes you just have to go on their page, look at some of their pictures, and just come back to your page, hit reply, and just explain to them that what their real life really is. When they read that compliment, and they go look at the mirror like, damn, he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
So you ain't really dissing them. You helping them. You helping them deal with reality. No, this is really you. You talk about me, but look, this is really you, right? So sometimes you got to let these people know that. So it ain't really being petty. And, you know, some people got time. I got time to reply. You know, some people think they can say certain things. And, he's too famous. He's not going to say anything. Nah, I got time.
You
so
preaching to the choir, Stak. You preaching to the choir, because I got a petty gene. I got a petty gene, too. And if you catch me on the right day at the right time, I'm going to let you know exactly where you have me messed up. So
I definitely scrolled past some ashy responses.
My mom hates when I do it, but it's like I don't do it all the time. I don't do it to everyone. But if you just happen to slip through the cracks, I'm gonna let you know where you got me messed up. So go about my day.
My dog.
We do have some breaking news before we let Stak go. NBA star Kyrie Irving intends to meet with the Phoenix Suns when the free agency period begins on June 30th. That is tomorrow. Stak, how you feeling about that situation?
How's that work? How's that work?
Well, let me tell you why. The only reason why, I don't know, I'm not even thinking about how it'll work, or I just know why it's even happening.
Right.
Because Isaiah Thomas, he loves Kyrie. Kyrie's a free agent. Isaiah gonna entertain it. I don't know what they're gonna do and how it's gonna work. I don't know. I mean, they trying to get rid of Booker?
Yeah, like
at this rate, right? Because there can't be enough room for Ayton, Kyrie, Bill, Booker, and KD. No chance.
I don't like that lineup without Ayton, though. You can't put in Kyrie and take Ayton out. That's not a good lineup. That's not a winning lineup. You got AD and Joker, all of them. You need Ayton. So,
right.
That's
what I'm saying. Because somebody has to go in order to acquire. My
better question is, where's the money coming from?
That's what I'm saying.
They gonna rob a bank?
Like,
somebody gotta go. Somebody gone.
Where's the cash flow from?
And they already took Chris Paul
from
that equation. He's been there. Are they trying to break that up and bring a KD, Kyrie, Bill look to with? Ooh, I don't know. That's crazy.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can't see.
I like it though. I like it.
That'd be crazy if they got rid of Booker.
They're not getting rid of Devin Booker.
Talk about a super team.
I would.
Super team.
I know. I'm not getting rid of Devin Booker for Kyrie Irving.
I wouldn't either. Yeah. Because you know what you're gonna get out of Booker. Even late, I'm talking about.
I love Kyrie, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I think he has a brighter future.
They don't have a point guard though.
They really, not a traditional.
That is true.
One. They need one.
That is true, but I mean, they also don't have an excess amount of cash, so.
But is Kyrie even the type of point guard you want to bring on? Because he a combo guard.
You can't have a starting five and no bench. That's how it's looking.
Right.
Like they're playing 40 plus minutes a game for 82 games at this rate, because there's not going to be anybody to relieve them unless you start like going to your local parks in Phoenix and just picking people off the street.
You're not lying.
Me and Corey ready.
If you're building your team for a championship, that's not the way, because Denver is a big team.
Right.
Denver's not a small team, so going small is not the way to. Denver's coming. They're going to be one of the teams that's going to be at the top, have a chance to win it next year too. They're going to be right back ready to go. They got a great core of guys. They know their roles now. They had a chance to win it together. They're going to be a smarter team, a more trusting team. You can't come against Denver with no small team. So that's not a good lineup to compete.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
You know who they could compete against, though?
Oh.
The Warriors. I just looked at their starting lineup. 6 feet tall Chris Paul, 6'2" Steph Curry, and Clay and Draymond are both 6'6".
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So they'll be competing for your
top
third
four?
and fourth place in the West. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They competing for falling short of a championship.
Yeah, right?
That's really what
Where's
they're
your
doing.
defense? You need a Michael Porter 6'8", 6'10" kind of guy in that fourth position, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's crazy.
Well, Stak, man, it's been a pleasure as always having you on. Hopefully we'll have you on sooner than later. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure. We'll holler at you later, boss.
Bye, Stak.
Appreciate y'all. Hopefully I see y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, take it easy, man.
Peace.
You're listening to Paper Route on Faction Talk, Sirius XM, channel 103, or you're watching us live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, I Am Athlete. Actually, a little earlier, we were talking boxing and whatnot. Charlo.
That's another one.
Yeah. Charlo and Canelo had came up. And Stak had brought it up, too, that we had our episode with Charlo. It was a great episode, too. And actually, what we're going to do, all the way up until the end of the show, is go through that episode, listen to some of those clips and give our reactions, kind of similar to how we did the other day. So we have our first one here. Let's get into it.
Everybody say Floyd, he's sneakier, he do certain things, he hit you when you ain't supposed to really be hit. But at the end of the day, like, what edge do you use when you in the ring to saying, like, rules to fighting? Like, you feel what I'm saying? What's your edge in the ring?
Me personally, my edge in the ring is just my, like, you don't want to get even hit with one of those sneaky shots. Like, one of those sneaky shots could be a problem to you. So, but Floyd, he got to be careful what I say, because Floyd is a GOAT and he's a legend, and I got a lot of respect for him. But, like, I think I could take any one of those sneaky shots. I don't care what type of sneaky shot he throw at me. It wouldn't affect me at all. A lot of the guys he fought, they was affected by those slow, nitty pick and pat shots. But still to this very day, I think that I had in boxing, I had the best chance against him.
So you see where I'm going though with this, right? Cause I want to know, like, if you was to get in the ring with him, what you feel like? I know you're gonna take yourself, but like,
I could have knocked Floyd out, but it would have been considered to the boxing world a lucky shot. So I would have never got the gratitude anyways. He's destined for what he is.
Me and Floyd hanging out in Vegas, right? And we in Vegas, we hanging out in Roses, and Rick Floyd, you know what I'm saying? This is OG. So me and OG hanging out, he like, hey bro, which one of y'all wanna fight me? I was like, bro.
sound just like Floyd.
I was just like, I kind of locked up. I kind of locked up. We was like, man, it was crazy. I was like, nah, man, like, I ain't in your weight division no more. Like, I'm 160, Floyd. Like, that was, bro. Yeah. He always wanted to fight Floyd, but that's why he undisputed.
That's why, but that's why I love that passion though, because
that's why who's
that,
undisputed?
Him, because like one thing about him is like he always like challenged himself to like I want Floyd,
I
want Floyd.
And that's what I was saying, because I seen him at his point.
That's why we steady be like, where the Canelos, where the GGGs, where the big guys at? We the big guys, like we are the big guys.
So how'd y'all miss each other then? Like everybody you name, how you miss?
I think you had the belt, and Floyd had a belt at the same time.
That's why I was going with it though, because he expressed that.
Can I
go ahead, get it off, because that's what I really wanted to know, bro.
Can I really break it down for him?
Please.
Go ahead, break it down.
Please.
All right. So at that time and era, in 2018, just to give you really graphical points, Floyd was the champion. Canelo was number 1, Miguel Cotto was number 2, and then it was I think I don't really remember who was number 3. I'm sorry, I was number 3, and then number 4, and then and so long. But so Canelo was doing his thing, trying to make it. It might have been 2018, 2019. So I was trying my best to get to the champion. Like, I didn't know nothing else, and of course, fighting Floyd Mayweather will put you on the map. Fighting Floyd Mayweather put you a payday would, from that day, still pay you for right now. Like it was essence for me to get to the best in the division. So I stayed at 154. I went up from 147 to 154. That's the only 2 weight divisions I ever fought at.
Right.
And so I always just wanted to fight the champion, the best guy.
So you guys know, Jamal Charlo is the one on the right. Jermell Charlo is the brother on the left.
Okay.
So the brother on the right is the one that's going to be fighting against Canelo. And honestly, I love the confidence. I really love the confidence because he says he wants to, he can beat Floyd Mayweather. Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather. So, I mean, as I was saying earlier in the show, right, like I'm excited for this matchup. Though
I'm
Charlo,
not. You remember the exhibition match?
I'm excited only because Charlo has a lot to overcome in this matchup. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot to overcome, and to be able to see him do that, that'd be really cool because he is fighting an all-time great. It's always cool when you can see an all-time great get in the ring with somebody who's a good challenger. We're talking about somebody who he is undisputed at the middleweight, weight class. So.
I mean, I agree, but I think this fight is 5 years too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that exhibition, man. I'm sorry, but Floyd looked like he had dad bod all day. Yeah. Like, he didn't even he did sit-ups that camp. It was just like a true exhibition.
What exhibition were you referring
to? His, what was it, Tubi? Zeus Network
the Zeus
fight
one?
The other day with the Gotti brothers?
Well, so actually, Charlo was referring to when they knew, they were associating with each other maybe back in 2016, 2017.
Okay, so yeah,
so this
that's
was towards the end of Mayweather's professional career. So he was saying that he would have been able to beat Floyd in his prime, not like Floyd now. He feels that he could have been able to beat Floyd in his prime. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I love the confidence, and I know he's going to be going into this, Canelo fight obviously with the same confidence. Hopefully he goes into the fight with a great game plan because I think that'd be more important than going into it with more confidence. But I mean, anything's possible, yo.
Yeah.
He's a guy. He has heart. He has that dog in him. He's not afraid to, stay there in front of his opponent even and take some punches too. So, but we are talking about Canelo.
I know.
We are talking about.
I am just glad to see these fights starting to sync up where they're at their highest, because it just makes the sport more exciting. It makes it something that I think the average viewer is going to want to watch.
Right.
And instead of being I'm going to watch the main event, people are going to start investing in the skill set if you start to see real, true fights, not these one-sided kind of landslide. I'm trying to buff up my record to 28-0. KOs are 22, but it's who are you fighting?
Well, listen, off this record alone, let me ask you a question. Off of this record alone, you see two fighters, let's say you know nothing about these fighters, but their records are 59-2-2, and then you got a guy who's, I think, is he 37-0 or 32-0, one of those records?
I think it's 36 36-0.
36-0 and 36-0. You tuning into that fight?
Sure.
She said sure. I think Canelo's record is actually ridiculous. Everybody.
I like Canelo.
Yeah, everybody wants to glorify those undefeated records and whatnot, but 59 professional wins.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah,
and again, we're talking about Canelo, so he's proven himself. We one of those two losses is from Floyd. You know what I'm saying? So he's a great. But then to have a guy on a fight card, undefeated. I'm excited for the fight.
I just love when someone's willing to put that 0 on the line.
Right. And I always respect. Yeah, is that what you said? I respect somebody who puts that 0 on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. They do it every day in MMA, and I think it's something that the grit that you get from that is so much more valuable.
Right.
Because I think that goes into your training. But if you're always on cloud 9, I get that's how boxing has kind of existed. But when you see this competition starting to grow, where UFC is starting to take over, I mean. They even evaluated, I think, at $12 billion just the other day from $4 billion just a few years ago.
Wow.
So it's you need to be able to compete on that level. And when I watch a UFC card, I feel from top to bottom, everyone is trying to earn it.
Yep.
And they don't care. Not that they don't care. They understand taking the L isn't a good look. But they also understand that sometimes if you get 3 knockdowns in that fight and you still get the L, they still look at those 3 knockdowns.
Yeah, right.
They see your power. They see the finesse, the skill set, the way you choke someone out.
Exactly.
And granted, there's a lot more opportunity, I think, with MMA to do different things in a fight.
Yeah, right.
But with boxing, I think that's where they lost us.
Yeah.
It's just these soft fights built up, no-name people, and then all of a sudden you got a 30-plus record.
Right. Yeah, they like to glorify those records. But all right, so with this next clip, the Charlo twins discuss Earl Spence, right, and him, them potentially fighting each other. Well, this is Jamal Charlo, right? Because I know Jermell Charlo, I believe, is the brother that has a close relationship with Earl Spence, but the other brother, similar weight class. So let's look at that clip real quick, and we'll come back.
When we gonna see you or Earl Spence? And I know that's a tough one. Can we see that? That's the same one. Isn't that the same conversation as Floyd, though?
It's not.
Bro, don't want it. Why you don't want it?
It's not a tough. It's not a tough question, actually.
Let me hear bro point of it if you don't mind. Why you say no?
it ain't. I mean, they train together.
They with me.
They train together. I mean, boxing is not a team sport. It's a one-man sport. I do get that. 100%. But there's some people in boxing that you kind of share those moments with that you don't get everybody.
Else.
And that's just one of those things. That's why I said like Floyd was like the OG. It's like you don't like pipe down when it comes to OG. But like somebody else or anybody else you want, he went and got the #1 spot. You know what I'm saying? So Earl, EJ,
I respect
we
it.
grew up together, let alone fighting them right now. And they have the same trainer.
Right.
So
I can respect that.
I wouldn't fight. I mean, me personally, honestly, to get in the ring with somebody, I don't really like that person.
So what if the world want to see that though? What you know they do want to see.
And it's a big payday.
So let me answer that question. Let him answer that question. Do you want to hear this? So,
I want to hear this.
Honestly, I don't think money. I like the money gonna come, bro. The money gonna go. The friendship, the what we got here, bro. What we got, what we got. We shouldn't have to like. I would fight.
So then I answer the question.
I'll let you go.
Stop. Like, you gonna shut
go,
up.
bro. Take it off.
So, truth, all due respect to Floyd, he did whatever he did in his career, and the problem is when you fight in different eras, you're gonna get different fighters. You're gonna get different personalities, different trainers, different everything. The game gonna change. Well wishes to Floyd. He's still doing a crazy, amazing thing. I got a lot of respect for him. I respect him. I honor him. Like, I think he's a great person. You know what I'm saying? And he's a great fighter. He showed business intelligence. But personally, no matter what, I got goals to accomplish and follow as well. You know, I want to live out my purpose, and whoever knows what it is. I'm the golden goat too. You know. So what I want to say is, me and Earl Spence, we train together. We've done a lot of training together personally. We sparred a lot of rounds together. We know each other pretty well. We personally talk. We talk about personal things that's not on camera. Sure. We got a great relationship.
Y'all brothers.
Like we feel like brothers. But the reason I won't fight Earl Spence, straight up. But truthfully, my brother's coach, who's a savage named Ronnie Shields, he let me fight one of his fighters that he used to train. And when I fought him, he told me that was the worst fight that he viewed me as. And so I'm kind of trying to redeem my personal self. Like, I want to show my coach that I'm really that guy. But without all of that being on the table, I wouldn't fight Earl. But personally, I would fight him if the bag big and we can make a deal and we can make something go phenomenally crazy. I'll fight him.
So,
yeah. He said, did you hear the last point he said? He said, I'll fight my brother. Wouldn't that be weird to see like two twin brothers fight each other?
And I'll tell you why. I was in the room for that interview.
Yeah.
It was about 5 times that I was worried that their crew that came with them thought that they were going to fight.
Yeah.
It's like I couldn't even imagine them growing up together, man. They must have been just all over each other, like punching each other, just chasing each other, hitting each other and tag. And they had that love-hate, that true brother love-hate that goes 100%. But what were you going to say?
No, but I'm saying, like, it's one thing to just get into like a little quick street fight with your brother, but to get into a 10-round,
like a 12-round match,
boxing match,
and
with
there's
your
money
brother,
on the line.
Like, that's weird. Like, that one.
You know who I feel for in that case?
Who you say?
Moms.
Yeah, right.
Because that's who's probably gonna be like, yo, why my sons fighting
each other?
You know, but it's just, I think that what I got from the Charlo twins, man, they just competitors to the core. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's why they're so agitated around each other, and but also love so deeply.
Right.
You know.
Right. Who would you got, Charlo? You know,
who would I have?
Jamal Charlo. No, not.
Oh, I was
not against each other, but like Jamal, because they were talking about fighting Earl Spence. Jamal potentially fighting Earl Spence. Who would you have in that fight?
I probably got to go with Earl just because I know more about him.
Yeah.
I got to get my boxing game up this year.
No, that's all good. I think that matchup will be a lot. You know, when Stak was on, we were talking about Earl Spence potentially fighting Boots if he were to win this fight against Bud Crawford. That style, that fight will look similar to like a fight against Earl Spence against Boots. I think Boots and and Charlo kind of have a
You
similar
mean like
style.
that tight
in
boxing?
Now, granted, you know, Charlo's the bigger boxer, so he might have more power, you know, than those guys, than Errol Spence. But I think that'd be a good fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this next clip, I mean, to the point that you made about them having like a love-hate relationship. These two twins, they kind of spent 2 years at odds with each other, and in this next clip, they kind of dive into, you know, that time period for them, for the two of them.
You said something offline where you were like, yo, that was the worst 2 years of my life. Y'all not together. You know, yours like separation anxiety, right? Like, talk to me about that. Like, how was those 2 years and why was it so tough?
Are you real enough to speak on that?
I'll speak on it. I'm
Yeah,
real enough to
do what
speak
you
on
do.
it. You shut up. You sit back.
Let me listen. See if you're gonna really tell the truth.
See, yeah, I'm gonna tell the truth.
The real ones know.
Hey, pipe down. Hey, look. All right, so look. Ooh. When I say like it's real life, like mirror motivation. Like if I see my brother go get big dually, I want a big dually too. I want that big dually. You know what I mean? He go get a big mansion. I want a big mansion. Like this down. But back then, when you don't have all that, when we didn't have money, when things wasn't like this, no belts on the table, it was like you in a position to fight, and you on ESPN, Showtime, whatever you on. Mention my name, bro.
Get you up. Yeah, he used to tell you.
No, be real. We keeping it 100.
I was signed with Golden Boy.
All right, you said keep it 100. This is real life. So it almost felt like, to me, like I don't want you to don't leave. Don't turn up yet. Don't turn up yet.
Don't forget about me.
Don't
Get me there.
Don't no.
So you took off first. So you took off first.
So you know.
Hold on.
Don't forget.
So he took off first. Okay.
Nah, he took off first. Like in high school, bro, driving around in
Mitsubishi Galant.
It don't matter. Whatever car you had,
rims on it. Like,
nice. But he's not even supposed to be driving.
So he was having shit.
Like,
Bro was
this
having
when nobody had cars. Nobody
never repeated the outfit.
Yeah, like
straight up.
Hey bro. Cap.
Never wore the same clothes
You gotta
ever.
cap him down sometimes. Like, come on, dog. Y'all can't let
I never repeated the outfit. I might as well right here.
Bro,
when I turned pro, I never repeated the outfit.
Okay, look, bro is undefeated. Look, can we?
I'm not
finish?
undefeated.
Can I finish? All right, so the separation anxiety came in when it was like, I really didn't want to. I'm like, dang, bro, like, wait on me. Like, I had toe surgery. I'm still trying to fight in the Olympics. Like, at this time, me and Earl Spence was roommates. Like, growing up through the amateurs, he was already pro. Earl was like, "Oh, you need to go pro." Like, yo, brother, like, it was times like that where like, I always like, dog, I told him not to leave me, you know? But I'm giving you that I'm giving you that scenario.
What about when I went to 2015 to Michigan fight for the USA?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hated those.
I hated by myself.
See, I hated
that's
those
when
games.
the real separation anxiety came in.
Well, and yours came in when I lived in Big Bear, California, by myself. We
had some times.
Yeah, all right then. So it's the same. It worked the same way, you know what I mean? But it'd be times where we really just like, dang, dog, like I want to see my brother. Like I want to see my brother, and I'm looking for that love from my brother. But we working out right now. I'm gonna try to find the love somewhere else, but I'll go to some homies, go to my friends, you know, go to my dad, call my mom. But you can call the close people to you. But it's like the encouragement that he gave me, nobody can give it to me. Like, and if you go so long without it, it kind of gets you like to the point where you gotta kind of like make that, you know. And that was one of the things that like, that's why I had to go get it. I had to go get like therapy for it. Like I wanted therapy for it. I could be away from my brother. We don't gotta argue because if I'm away from him, we get mad at each other. Yeah. If we away from each other too long, that's when y'all see what y'all normally, you know. And it's just separation. I mean, a lot of people don't like to just, you know, say they have things or like something wrong with them or this. You have to go to the doctor. You have to go get yourself checked out. And that was one of the things I wanted. Put some information.
That's real because you got to get to the root of that because y'all relationship is complex, it's interesting, it's powerful. You know, it could be beautiful at times, it could be ugly at times. And just seeing y'all here today, we're witnessing it.
Yeah, we good now. Look at him.
Yeah.
How is it now? Like y'all?
Nah, we good now. I think it's this.
Where did that energy come from? Like growing up?
The energy come from truthfully just wanting to be great, bro. Like wanting to be great, wanting to really strive for like perfection, wanting to be great, and then wanting to be perfected. We twins, we look alike. We got so much that's so completely different about us. And you gotta understand that person. And I grew up as a young man to understand that I understood him early. The rest of the world never really understood my brother. So I could let certain things go. We could go out today, he could go tripping and all of that. And then all of a sudden in the morning, I don't even need that phone call. Man, my bad. I don't need that. I know what time it is. He's different. Like, but the rest of the world, it's gonna be completely hard. It's gonna be difficult to understand that he really meant good for you. You know what I'm saying? But then the energy he has that has nothing to do with the upbringing. It's just about who he is and how he really carries himself. He's different. He's one of a kind. I'm one of a kind, but we're twins.
Yo, the dynamic between these two brothers is just so admirable, right? Or admirable.
Correct. Yeah,
right?
admirable.
Yeah,
Let's
admirable.
not let Ashley get on us.
But
no,
right? Like,
I definitely think, yeah, they have that unity. But I actually wanted to talk about something else, which is, as she was saying, they don't look as identical.
Oh. Yeah,
I think they look like.
Do they not look like identical twins? That was a comment.
No, BC just said they don't.
BC doesn't think so either?
No.
So the studio is actually split.
Maybe my eyes are messed up.
I think these dudes look exactly alike. Like Chet, for who all is here,
yeah.
Like, do they not look?
Chet,
like
who do you guys think they look like twins?
They even got the same mentality. But that's what I love about it, right? Because with their story, one twin was bound to blow up before the other twin, right? Like that's just how it was gonna work. But what I admired about their story is that Jamel was in that story. He was explaining he was the twin that, well, Jamal was the one that blew first, right? So Jamel had to deal with that. But guess what? Like we're talking about two guys who were able to end up eventually, earning belts of their own. So in respective divisions. So this it was a great story. It's a great story of the between these twins, and
this is definitely an episode. If you haven't watched, you should watch. Take some
it's
time, take that hour and check it out. I think they have a beautiful story. It's very emotional, but just overall, like I think this is one of our most real sit downs.
Yeah, it's a really great story. And what we're gonna move into now is Jamal opening up about the hiatus he had been on, right? So we just recently had the announcement of Charlo versus Canelo, but as we had said earlier in the show, Jamal hasn't fought since 2021, and he kind of opens up about that hiatus and those feelings he was feeling throughout that time away from boxing. So this is it right here.
Everybody go through stuff, bro. Like I used to hear about this like when I wasn't going through it. I used to always hear about like people really be going through stuff. Like you see something happen to somebody, see a wreck on the side of the road. You be like, man, like you don't want to be in that position.
Yeah. Or that ain't gonna happen to me.
That ain't gonna happen to me, but that can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? So I took some time off to get myself together, like we were talking earlier about the mental health. But everybody try to blame mental health on stuff. But sometimes, for my situation, it's not mental health. I have no mental health issues. I have issues going on with like me actually getting my
real life shit.
It's like running into a wicked demon. Like everybody run into demons out here.
Yeah, like
we can fight them off. But he ran into one that was like,
hey, all right, look. So you gonna get into it.
You don't want to talk about that? What you ran into?
I don't mind.
Elaborate a little bit
on
mind.
If
you could.
Bro, we all go through it, bro.
All right, so look. Yeah, I had a high school sweetheart. I got a family. I'm doing the things right. Like I never looked at it in the wrong way. I never felt like I was making a mistake. You know what I mean? I'm boxing, and she go on a journey with me, and we for our kids and everything, emotional, everything is what it is. I'm supposed to take care of my family, right? But then when I'm not able to take care of my family, then what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna go hunt. Like I'm really like a literal lion. I'm gonna go hunt. You know what I'm saying? I'm hunting. So but in the midst of if you get injured in it, you gotta take your time off, heal up, and get yourself back to that. And that's what I had to do. I rebuilt myself. I'm better now. I feel better now. I'm happier now. So me and my brother's super close. We get in arguments because I like to argue with him because it makes me stronger.
That's
You know
your
what I'm saying?
relationship.
Nah,
I
nigga,
want
you
to say
can't
this,
talk
bro.
crazy,
Like,
my bad.
I hear you, and you really not going there. And I just want to say to you that it's okay. You know what I'm saying? In 2011, I was like one of the first athletes to say, like, yo, I had to take 3 months, sit down, and I had to tap into my mental health. And now every other week, there's another athlete saying, oh shit, I deal with depression, I deal with anxiety, I'm dealing with substance abuse issues, I'm dealing with, divorce, financial challenges, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about lions only, and I feel like us as men, especially hunters, we can't show no weakness. We can't take a step back. That's how we was trained, right? That's how Pops trained you. And we talked about this. We actually got in me, you, Pac, Shady got in a big debate about this on the Joy Taylor episode. Like, can men show emotions and all of that? And what I believe, right, because everybody got their own opinion, I believe it is okay for us to say, no, I need to take a beat. I need to take a year, I need to take 2 years, I need to take a month. I need to talk to my brother, cry with my brother. So whatever the part of the process you
on
on,
this flow every night.
whatever part of the process, wherever you're at in the process, bro, like I support you, bro. Like I always seen y'all from afar. Barclays Center, when I was playing for the Jets, y'all there. Y'all always love, always respect Vegas, all of that. This is my first time really like us really kicking it. I love y'all, bro. For real. And I love you, bro. And I'm here for you and I support you. And I can't wait for you to get back in the ring. But if it take another 3 months, if it takes 6 months, that's what it is. And you don't owe nobody nothing. You don't gotta apologize to nobody about nothing, bro. Like your story is already made.
Cool, cause
it's
like,
already written.
My brother lost his belts and got him back. That don't mean nothing to me, man. Them trophies. But what I really got is y'all. Real lions, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I'm thankful that y'all actually just realized that, like, man, people go through stuff. People realize that, like, we go through stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, in my heart, I'm still a champ. I'm still a champ of the world. But then you hit rock bottom, so you don't never know who for you, or who know about it, who really understand it. Sometimes it be the people closest to you that really just don't understand you.
Now, I really love this part of this conversation, right? Because this is when they started to really lean into mental health and whatnot. Oh my God, gave him a whatnot. But yeah, this is part two. We're really gonna kind of continue this conversation here. So let's take a look at this next clip.
That's why, like, I really wanted to lean into that. And my agent right here, Kennard McGuire, like, I'm sitting in a big house, bro, 17,000 square feet, dog. Everything, do whatever I want. This man went and got me $50 million after I'd have been in trouble. Like, they said you can't save him. And I'm sitting in with everything in Miami, and he come into my theater room, and I got my Bible laying on my lap. And he come to me and he say, and I'm like, I'm good. My lady leaving me. And him and my longtime assistant, Kathy Lee, they fly down, and he looked at me, he said, bro, you need help? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And they just sat there with me in a theater room, dark-ass theater room, for about 12 hours. The next day, I was on a private plane, probably my first time on a private plane at McLean Hospital outpatient program, dog. And
sometimes people just don't realize it, bro.
Yeah.
It could be people, the closest people to you, all the guys, everybody that you grew up with, bro, sometimes you just don't understand it.
Yeah. What I realized on campus, bro, was like 300-something million Americans and 100-something million is affected by some shit, living with something. It touches all of us. And I feel like you haven't, if I'm being honest and transparent, I feel like you haven't really let it go, because we live as athletes, especially in boxing. Y'all might be harder than football players, for real. Like, because when y'all get in the ring, y'all could really die. And when you connect with a weakness, what they say is a weakness, mental health or whatever, or just I'm stressed, or I'm going through a divorce, or I just lost X amount. If we do that, if I tap into that and I tell the world that, then I'm not who I am. I'm not a lion, right? So I don't feel like you really accepted it and let it go.
Man, I'm just I have, but I haven't, because I'm a champ, and everybody expecting greatness. You know what I mean? And then when I'm in when my back against the wall, then I'm in like my weakest. Then it's like everybody expecting greatness, but I have nothing to give them. You get what I'm saying? So it make me kind of, you know, if you understand, you understand. You know what I mean? And it take people to go through things to understand.
So I'll say this and we can move on.
Bro, it's a sensitive subject, bro, because it's like,
yeah, I see you tearing up, I'm tearing up.
Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to hold it in, because, like, it's real.
Let that shit out, bro.
I'm cool. I already did that. I already did that.
Nah, bro, let that shit out, bro.
I already did that, bro.
Gotta shed a tear. He wants you to tear it with him, man.
Nah, he already tearing up. He crying, but like, why can't
cool.
I cry?
He can.
Cool. You know what they say? No, Jack. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Everything I've been going through over the last 3 years, like, and that shit always coming up.
It's supposed to.
My chief of staff, Bonnie, she hit me one day and she said, you know what I just learned? She said, I learned that you never know when a lion is crying because they roar.
Yep.
And that's crying, and it's also, I'm about to go hunt. So you never know.
I don't talk about this really much, even like to my brother. But like, for the fact that you really know what I'm going through, fire, bro.
Fucking love you.
Love you too, guy. You don't think I want to go get all these belts? But I'm okay with going through what I'm going through, because my brother gonna go get it.
Straight up.
I really got him with
that's
that.
why I respect
And we from the same pride. Don't worry. I feel like I got him. I'm cool. I'm gonna get through this, and I'm gonna go get him, and then it's gonna feel like we got like
everything.
It's too much.
Me and you having this moment, all four of us fucking having this moment. It's gonna make it sweeter. It's gonna make it sweeter. Because you not being vulnerable, you not letting the world in. You're motherfucking, you talk about branding, you talk about a following. When you be vulnerable, bruh, that's the magic.
That was really a great episode. Got deep there at the very end.
Very.
For sure. So, the link is actually in the chat. If you get a chance, definitely tune into that episode. But I know you wanted to add a few things.
Just real simple, I just want to say shout out to anybody dealing with some mental health, anybody that's got an issue going on. Just know there's someone out there that loves you and that wants to see you do better. That's all.
Yep. Take it from who? Take it from the Charlo twins. Ashley, it's been a great week, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a great week. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another week of Paper Route. From myself, Corey in the cut, a.k.a. Corey Whatnot, Woo in the West, BC in the back. Manderville, the mysterious Mander legend, rather. What are you giving me? What are you doing with your hand?
Well, we don't want to say bye to the people for another 3 more minutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. My fault.
I got something for you.
I thought that we were closing this out.
No, it's all
okay.
Good. Well, listen, free agency starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. I think that was what
6 p.m.
Me, right? It's
June 30th on Friday,
What do you think is going to be the first notification pop across our screen?
Chris Paul traded. Please.
No.
Well, it'll probably be like a free agent signing, though.
I don't think it's going to be a signing. I think it's going to be information about like who's meeting with what team. And I don't think we're going to get like anything monumental.
You don't think we'll get anything spicy like right when the
like with some of the bigger
opens?
names? No. I think you'll see some smaller, like a Bruce Brown or something like that. But in terms of like where's Kyrie going to go? Damian Lillard, I think they're going to make us wait a little bit for that.
Yeah. You know who I really want to see land in a good situation?
Who's that?
Fred VanVleet. I'm a big Fred VanVleet guy.
Fred VanVleet.
It's a hard name to say.
No, it's not Van Fleet though. That's the thing. Like I always just say Van Fleet, but it's a V in there.
Vleet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird way.
Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, it's like a tongue twister, no?
Yeah, it is.
Fred VanVleet. He's a dog. They're tying him to the Houston Texans and whatnot. That was something, I wanted to bring up on the show.
Sorry, it's the Houston Rockets.
Nobody ever wants to talk about the Houston Rockets though. like I said earlier, I watch I watch all NBA teams, right? I watch all teams in the NBA because I'm a better.
Including the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Houston Rockets.
Yeah, that's what you
Houston
said the
Rockets.
first time. That's what I was.
Oh, did I actually? That's crazy, man.
How many?
You good,
how
brother.
many?
Made it all the way
How
to
many
the end.
whatnots did we get from Corey today? 3?
I want to say it was
He was
only 2.
careful.
No, it was 3.
Was it 3?
It was at least 3.
I can remember it was the one that you called out, and it was the one that I had said just not too long ago.
No,
What
and
was
then
the
you
third
said one when Stak was here. That was.
We're getting the
2's when
counter,
Stak
don't
was
worry.
here. It's
Two?
3.
2 when Stak was there?
It was 3.
I thought I did good, man.
getting the
I
count
made
up.
it through the whole first hour without saying it, though.
We had 3 today.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Instead of the Houston Rockets, Houston Texans, whatnot.
All right, well, let's see how
He
good I
said
can
took a lot when he should have said taken.
That too, yes.
All right, well, let's see if I can get better next week.
All right.
All right,
Are we?
good
Can I
people.
close out now?
You want to close out? Yeah, close out
Okay.
now. Close out now.
Well, we want to go ahead and thank you guys for another incredible week of Paper Route. I want to wish everybody a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. I can't believe it's the 4th of July already. Can you guys believe that?
I know.
It's weird.
Years
The 4th of
flies.
July being on a Tuesday is also kind of corny. Can we not do that next year? Just saying. If there's anybody I can write to make that happen, we'll be willing to do that. From myself, Corey in the cut, a.k.a. Corey Whatnot, Woo in the West, BC in the back, the mysterious Mander legend, JP and the whole social team holding it down for us all over the U.S. We'll be back next week. See ya.
See you, good people.